And here we are at the end of the week. Welcome to Kent Tonight, live here on KMTV. I'm Gabriel Morris and here are your top stories on Friday, the 22nd of August. 11 hours to extinguish. Suspected arson devastates rural Tunbridge home.
Do you expect to see these sort of things happening in Marden? And then, no, not at all. It's not common. The odd barn fire perhaps, but nothing serious.
Heathlands havoc. Third councillor quits over Maidstone's controversial housing plan.
Moving from a village to an actual town, it's set to a small town. And the atmosphere is completely going from here.
They're down below me!
Amazing!
And birthday channel swim. Herne Bay man crosses the English Channel with these surprise guests. First tonight, just outside the village of Marden in Tunbridge, a suspected arson attack gutted a house. Fire crews worked tirelessly for 11 hours, deploying 11 engines and multiple emergency vehicles to finally bring the fire under control. Finn McDermott joined us earlier from Battle Lane, standing outside for scorched remains of the property.
Battle Lane is a road cutting straight through the rural heart of Tunbridge, and it's only a few minutes' drive away from the small village of Marden, normally a very quiet and peaceful area. But in the early hours of Wednesday morning, that quiet was disturbed by the sounds of sirens, and the air was filled with thick black smoke as a home in the area caught alight along with several other outbuildings. The incident took 11 hours, 11 fire engines, 2 bulk water carriers and a technical rescue unit to be able to fully extinguish the fire. The result is, as you can see now, a shell of a house with only bricks, beams and rubble remaining. A spokesperson for Kent Fire and Rescue said that the property was vacant at the time of the fire and no injuries have been reported, but the cause is believed to be deliberate. We spoke to locals in the village of Marden to get a sense of whether or not a fire of this scale is normal, especially in such a small rural pocket of Kent.
Do you expect to see these sort of things happening in Marden? And then, no, not at all. It's not common. The odd barn fire perhaps, but nothing serious.
No, not really, have we?
No, not really, no.
Many years ago, I mean, the old fish and fish shop years
Yeah,
ago.
oh yeah,
Across
fish
the
and
road
chip shop.
there, that was years and years ago.
Years
that
ago,
was.
yeah, that was
Apart
in
from
the, that was in the 70s, really.
yeah,
Yeah.
apart from that, ain't nothing, was
No,
it?
no.
No, sir. No. Very strange that happened. We don't have fire like this.
So I've only really lived here for about 6 months, and to be honest, it's the first time I've heard of a fire. Sometimes on the train line when I'm going like towards Tunbridge, I've seen a few fires around the fields around there, but other than that, I haven't really seen any fires.
Kent Police have since released a statement about the incident on their website, and they say that detectives are appealing for more information after a house in Marden was destroyed in a suspected arson attack. The vacant Battle Lane property was reportedly set alight, along with outbuildings, during the early hours of Wednesday, the 20th of August. Kent Fire and Rescue Service was called at around 12:40 a.m. and the extensive fire was brought under control and extinguished several hours later. Police officers also attended to assist with the scene, and there were no reported injuries. They also mentioned that an investigation is currently underway and officers are urging anyone with any relevant information to contact them. And with Kent Police's investigation still ongoing, the family and locals in the village hope that answers can be found to this unexpected incident. Finn McDermott for KMTV in Marden.
Now for some news in brief. If you've been driving around Kent, you might have noticed road markings and roundabouts have turned into St George's flags. Red lines now run through pedestrian crossings, mini roundabouts and give-way markings, creating the famous English flag. The trend really took off during the Lionesses Euros run earlier this summer, and it's now sparked mixed reaction. Some people say it's a great way to celebrate heritage and community, while others feel it's provocative at a time of heightened debate around immigration and identity. Kent County Council, which oversees the highways in Kent, has been contacted for comment. An 81-year-old grandmother says she was left in tears after being surrounded by 3 council wardens and threatened with a £100 fine at Folkestone's Lower Lees Coastal Park. Wendy says she felt intimidated after being accused of breaking new dog control rules brought in earlier this August under an updated Public Spaces Protection Order. She says she was walking her Labrador on a lead when wardens claimed she'd previously let it off in a restricted area. Folkestone and Hythe District Council says the changes were made after complaints about fouling and out-of-control pets, but it's now investigating the incident following a formal complaint. And a £20 million revamp of Tides Leisure Centre in Deal has been given a go-ahead by Dover District Council. Instead of refurbishing the old pool, the council says it's more cost-effective to build a brand new one. The plans include a 6-lane swimming pool and a new gym, but not everyone's happy. More than 50 people have objected on the council's planning portal. But Councillor Michael Neve says the investment will do exactly what it says on the tin. And now, Kent's Ukrainian community is marking the 34th anniversary of their country's independence this weekend. To celebrate, the charity Canterbury for Ukraine has organised a full day full of festivities on Saturday. The event comes as peace talks continue in the hope of ending the Russia-Ukraine conflict. But here in Kent, it's all about honouring the Ukrainian identity. Well, I'm pleased to say I'm joined now on the line by Alina Nizolova, a trustee of the Canterbury for Ukraine, and Marina Poltavska, a volunteer with the charity. Welcome to you first, Alina. What will you be getting up to on Saturday and how can people get involved?
Hello, Gabriel. We will have a full schedule of event for the day. It will start with the information stand in the city centre near Canterbury Library at the Beanies from 11 to 3, and then we will gather and go for a walk. An Independence Day solidarity walk, as we've done in the past years, every year. We'll go from the St. Peter's Methodist Church to the Umbrella Center. And then at 3:30, we will have a symbolic planting of the Kalina tree. Kalina is the red viburnum, which is the symbol of Ukraine. And as a thank you to the British community here, which opened their hearts and homes to Ukrainians, we would like to present this tree for it to grow and, please the eyes and be a reminder of Ukrainian community heartfelt thanks.
And Marina, we'll come to you now. What's the significance of these cultural activities? I think we're having some difficulties on Marina's line now. I don't think your microphone's coming through clearly. I'm not sure that's on our end. Marina, can you hear us at all now?
Hello.
There we go. We can hear you now. Tell us a little bit about the cultural significance of some of these activities which are taking place this weekend.
Thank you so much for having us. Yeah, hello. And as a refugee coming to the UK as the war started, I can't really say enough thank you for the community that welcomed us here and supports every initiative we have. And this means all the events we are having here and the choir and the youth hub and everything, it is well attended, as well as attended by local councillors, Canterbury City Council representatives and Ukrainians as well. And it's a great way to celebrate our unity and to show the solidarity and continue to show that Ukrainians and the British have very many things in common, and we are very grateful to the community that is hosting us.
Well, it's been over more than 3 years since Russia launched its full-scale invasion of Ukraine, and there have been recent talks of a Ukraine-Russia summit to discuss peace terms. Do you think the situation at an international level will affect the celebrations in any way at all, Marina?
No, I don't think so. I mean, yeah, Ukrainians are very upset about what is going on and about all the uncertainty and unfairness, I would say. But still, the spirit of Ukraine is so strong, and we do want to show that we'll stand as one. And we do celebrate our country rich history, heritage, and great spirit.
And Alina, there's been a lot in the news lately, particularly with Trump and Putin meeting at the Peace Summit last week. What's the local reaction with Ukrainians who have come here to Kent, to Canterbury, been on these recent talks?
I would echo Marina in saying that Ukrainian community is kind of upset with the unfairness of the suggested terms and discussions. However, we have been reassured with the solidarity that the European leaders, including our Prime Minister, UK Prime Minister, showing such a great support and standing by Ukraine, that this gives us hope. The Independence Day for us is really not just a celebration. It is way more than that, because independence for us means survival of the nation. We know that if we surrender, then we will most certainly face, Bucha-style atrocities and extermination of our nation, of our people. So we are very thankful to the European leaders, to the UK government for supporting Ukraine, for standing next to our president and being united, being in solidarity as a whole European continent.
Well, thank you both for your time. I'm afraid we're going to have to leave it there, so we've got to go to a break, but events tomorrow. So, thank you so much, and we'll send our viewers down there to that. Well, it's time to take a quick break, but we'll be coming back in a few minutes with more news made just for Kent.
Right of the screen. Choose the package that suits you with options to pay monthly or annually. Once you've signed up, check your email for a thank you message from us and details on how to get the most out of our subscription. Kent Online, news you can trust.
Welcome back. A third councillor has quit Maidstone Borough Council this week over a controversial new development plan. Independent councillor Kathy Cox resigned just days after fellow ward councillors Tom and Janetta Sams stepped down, all citing concerns over the Heathlands Garden Settlement scheme. Our reporter Alfie Rowe has more.
In this tranquil field outside Lenham, trouble is brewing. In order to meet the government's housing targets, a vast stretch of land between Lenham and Charing is set for development.
Maidstone Council promises to build 5,000 new homes in this area and promises to create 5,000 jobs, a new railway station, schools and plenty of other facilities. Now, although the development project is only meant to begin in 2030, it's already been met by fierce local opposition, due to, amongst other things, it running heavily over budget already. And now several local council people have had enough.
Husband and wife Tom and Janetta Sams have been councillors for the Hartsham, Lenham and North Downs ward for decades. But after seeing the supplementary planning document for the Heathlands development, they decided to resign.
Lots of the things seem to be not costed. The railway is budgeted to cost 13 million, the rail station, which we know it will be 30 or 40 million. The transport annex that has been produced again doesn't fit. The A20 is already very blocked. It's going to be gridlocked all the time.
I think the problem is that the people that have designed this won't be living here. The people that our residents will be living here, and they're going to be left with an infrastructure that won't fit the package.
In their stand against the plans, the Sams have been joined by fellow councillor Kathy Cox, who tendered her resignation this week.
Kathy's only been around a short while, but she's been very active within the community, particularly Hollingbourne, which is where she lives. And we're really sorry to see Kathy go.
Though refusing interview, Council leader Stuart Jeffrey said in a statement, Kathy has served with dedication and professionalism, and her departure is a significant loss to both the council and the community. We are grateful for her service and wish her well in the future. While the current administration did not support the original creation of Heathlands, we remain focused on delivering a sustainable development that benefits the borough. The resignation of all three of the ward's councillors has triggered a triple by-election, with the date yet to be announced. But what remains clear is that the Heathlands Garden scheme continues to divide local residents.
I think it's quite a nice little town. I think by adding more houses, you're definitely going to bring some riffraff.
I think it'd be great for local businesses, as there's quite a few businesses here, so we can always benefit with more customers.
You're taking away the structure of the village. It's moving from a village to an actual town. It's set to a small town, and the atmosphere is completely going from here.
Alfie Rowe for KMTV in Lenham.
Yeah, that has been controversial for some time, hasn't it? Anyway, this next story will put a smile on your face this Friday evening. A Herne Bay man has completed his second English Channel swim to mark his 60th birthday. Paul Parish plunged into the waters at 2:30 a.m. from Dover, emerging more than 14 hours later. Exhausted but triumphant. He battled fatigue and even considered giving up, but along the way some special guests helped keep him going. Our reporter Christian Hawthorne met Paul in Herne Bay and has this story of a man fuelled by adrenaline and a little help from his animal friends.
Now, not many people are able to swim the English Channel, let alone do it twice. But I'm here in Herne Bay today, where Paul Parish lives, and you've done this twice. And I mean, what made you decide to do that?
Well, in 2014, I did swim the English Channel as part of something called the Arch to Arc, which is this insane triathlon where you run from Marble Arch down to Dover, then you swim the English Channel, and then you cycle to the Arc de Triomphe. And it was wonderful that I'd done it, but I wore a wetsuit. And official channel rules means that if you have any aid at all, as in a wetsuit, it doesn't count as an official crossing. Now at the time I didn't care, I was just ecstatic to have done what I'd done. But over the years, it kind of began to niggle at me that I'd never done it properly. So I'm 60 this year, and I just thought, I've got to stop this thing eating away at me. I'm going to give it another go, and just do it in a swimming costume, with a hat and goggles, and try and get an official channel swim.
And so, I mean, you had your partner and the crew alongside you in the boat, but you did have a bit of extra help. Can you tell me about that?
I did have some extra help, yeah. I was struggling. It's like 11 and a half hours into swim. You're really starting to feel it. It's really biting. And I looked up and I could see everybody in the boat suddenly get all with their cameras out. And I kind of thought, what's that? And I looked up, and as I looked up, this dolphin just broke the water in front of me, you know, right close up to me. And then I could see them all below me. They'd come back and swam below me, and they were just there. And apparently, according to everybody on the boat, they've been there. There've been loads of them, all playing around, all on my side of the boat. And I kind of think they were just there because it gave me such a lift. I felt so amazed that they'd done it, and apparently my speed picked up everything.
And you know, you said that since then people have been sending you a lot of information about dolphins, saying that they're quite empathetic. Do you feel like there was a reason why they joined you?
Yeah, I think they knew. I think they knew that I was struggling. And I just think they're that kind of animal. There's so many stories about them really giving people a lift, getting in between. I know one swimmer who said that they were around him when there were some sharks around, that they've got this kind of way of empathising with us, giving us a hand. There's so many stories about it. And I kind of like to think that might have been the case with my little pod of dolphins.
And no less, you did this all for charity. So you had this extra help, but you have been helping people yourself. Can you tell us a bit about that and why you chose this charity?
Yeah, well, I'm actually the fundraising and marketing director of a charity called Aspire, and we're there to help people who've sustained a spinal cord injury. There's no cure for it, but we help them go from injury to independence. Over the years, we've been really good at fundraising through open water swimming. I think we're unique in the charity world in terms of the kind of program that we've got. So that's been a big part of my life in terms of my professional life, but also personally, you know, it's helped, you know, I've got very involved in it myself, and I thought it was a really good way to kind of raise money for the charity, say, you know, I don't just talk the talk, I can try and walk the walk, and I'm also retiring from the charity, so in March, and I thought it'd be kind of a really lovely farewell thing for me and to try and raise a load of money before I go.
Excellent. And how much have you raised so far?
So at the moment it's just over £14,000. In fact, it's about 16.5 with gift aid. So yeah, so it's a good chunk of money. So I'm really, I mean, people have been so kind, so lovely. I think they just want to see me go. I think it's something like that. But they have been so lovely. So got a lot of people to thank.
So you've managed to raise all this money. You've managed to swim with dolphins. Does that encourage you to do it again, maybe for your 70th?
No, never again. That's it. That's me and channel swimming over. But it's been an absolute blast, and it's been a real adventure.
Excellent. Well, if you're planning on swimming with dolphins this year on your holiday, you might not need to travel as far as you think. Kristen Hawthorne for KMTV in Herne Bay.
Extraordinary that, especially those dolphins. How magical that all was. Well, finally, as we enter the August bank holiday, what's going on in Kent remains a hot topic, whether that's an event on your doorstep or beyond. Layla joined me earlier with a helpful roundup. And Layla, what's the first event you have for us this bank holiday weekend?
So I think a standout event, possibly on a national as well as a local level, is the Heather in History event taking place at the famous castle. So they'll be hosting some live battle reenactments, as well as the return of the Knights of Royal England for a jousting tournament, which sounds fun.
And also lots of opportunities this weekend for families as well to go out and about.
Absolutely. So another option is the Military Odyssey, happening in Detling near Maidstone. So that's kind of set to be a very immersive showcase of scenes from the British trenches as well as the home front. I believe there'll be some wartime aircraft there, as well as some jive dancing as well. So definitely one to watch for.
Yeah, they have lots of trenches there, which always surprises me. I know one of our reporters, Finn, spent an evening in those trenches. You can watch that full report on our website, kmtv.co.uk. And, of course, lots of foodies. I myself are one. For people like us, what can they get up to this weekend?
Well, I'm pleased to say, as a fellow foodie, there's lots to enjoy this weekend. What does spring to mind is the We Love Hythe Life Food Festival, which comes back to the coastal town this year, and that's set to have more than 70 stalls offering a wide range of food. I believe it's from local produce to spicy street food. And I believe as well this year we're set to have some nicer weather, some sunny spells according to the Met Office versus the rainy scenes we saw last year.
Well, we'll get a full weather forecast in just a moment. But what about traffic? Because We always hear that the bank holiday weekend can be particularly busy, and here in Kent, of course, we've got the port as well.
Of course, yeah. I mean, as always, increased pressure is expected on the M20, especially towards Dover and Folkestone. But some positive news, there aren't any planned works on any of the major routes across Kent this weekend, so looking like a smooth picture at this stage.
Well, thank you for bringing us all those details.
Thank you.
Well, let's have a look what's in store with the weather this bank holiday weekend. Tonight is looking rather cloudy with temperatures around 16 degrees, 15 down in Ashford and Tunbridge Wells. Into tomorrow morning, partly cloudy weather to start the day with temperatures of 17 degrees, low wind speeds along with it. Into the afternoon, highs of 20, slightly cooler in the south. More clouds covering the county. And for your outlook, highs of 21 on Sunday. Scattered clouds, and bank holiday Monday brings highs of 24 degrees. Clear sunny skies. There we go. How often does that happen on the bank holiday? Well, it looks like you're in for a treat this bank holiday Monday if you have it off work. Well, some of us do have to come into the office. I'm included on that, so we'll be back with you on Monday at 5:30 for a slightly shorter Kent Tonight, but we'll be here with you bringing you the latest news from the bank holiday. Have a lovely weekend, whatever you're up to. We'll see you on Monday.